Yeah, this is gonna be a rant, but I want to talk about this particular subject. But first things first, I do this for me, for venting purposes. And if you don't like it, please get the fuck off my channel. I'm not looking for any praise nor accolades. Now back to the subject at hand. Um, I want to talk about segregation in America. I repeat, I want to talk about segregation in America. That happened back many years ago. And in my honest opinion, when it comes to black people, I think that segregation was a blessing in disguise. And I'm going to tell you why. It affords black people to come together and work together as a strong community. I repeat, segregation was a blessing in disguise because it affords black people to come together and work together to build a stronger community. Now, listen, man, integration was a bad idea. Even Dr. King said it. Even Dr. King said it best. He said that I am sending my peoples inside a burning house. When it comes to integration, Dr. Martin Luther King said, I am sending my peoples inside a burning house, and that burning house is integration. And look what's going on right now. Black people have lost all their worth and their power because they're spending their money towards they are spending their money towards other entities instead of their own. I repeat, black people are spending money elsewhere. They're spending money elsewhere at other entities instead of their own peoples within their own communities. Listen, man, segregation was actually a good idea. Once you really think about it, at the end of the day, segregation was a good idea because it'll force black people to look within themselves and make changes for the better, so they can operate as a strong unit in order to have a strong community. Plain and simple. See, other races of people understand this concept, but the main reason why other races of people understand that concept is because they have a strong culture. See, what I realize when it comes to black Americans, black Americans do not have a strong culture. They really don't. Or like what some people think, black people do not have a culture at all. And I can understand that. But overall, black people lack a strong culture. And in my honest opinion, culture consists of history, traditions, code of conduct, blood lineage, and identity. And with those things, that makes up a culture. But without those things, black people will always be at the bottom of the totem pole. It doesn't matter how much money you make. Without a strong culture, you will always be at the bottom of the totem pole. Point blank simple. You know what I'm saying? Plain and simple. Plain is damn simple. And you know what? Like I said before, other racial groups understand that concept of culture, but Black Americans do not, and that's why we will always be at the bottom of the totem pole because we lack a strong culture. But going back to segregation, like I said before, in my honest opinion, it is a blessing in disguise because it'll force Black people, it'll force people to work together as a strong unit. It'll force black people to work together, and that's why I believe that segregation is a blessing in disguise. I'm not listen. I would rather be called a so-called Uncle Tom, a so-called Coon, a so-called Sambo when it comes to speaking the truth, or when it comes to speaking my truth, because everybody is entitled to an opinion, and like they say, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one. So I'm just giving out my opinion on this assessment about segregation. And yes, I do think and believe that segregation was a good idea and segregation was a blessing in disguise it'll help black people to stand on their own 2 feet. When it comes to economic elevation, it'll help black people to stand up on their own 2 feet and compete with the other racial groups. And that's all I got to say about that, man. That's all I got to say. So yeah, man. So thank you so much and have a good day.